Hello and welcome back to Whiskey Wars. My name is Sean and tonight we'll be reviewing Four Roses Small Batch. Let's get into it. Alright, so here's our bottle for this evening, Four Roses Small Batch. But before we get into the bottle, since this is our first Four Roses product we've reviewed on the channel, let's first do a quick history. So Four Roses as a brand was started back in the 1860s by Paul Jones Jr. And it was a very well-known and very well-loved bourbon for a long time. Unfortunately, in 1943, it was bought by the Seagram's Company and then was turned into a blended whiskey and was a blended whiskey for a long time until 2002, when finally they went back to making proper bourbon. And then in 2006, they would finally come along with the Four Roses Small Batch, this bottle right here. Now, how Four Roses got its name is Paul Jones Jr., the founder of Four Roses, would see a young Southern belle, a beautiful young woman, and would become smitten by her. And so because of this, he would send her a letter and ask for her hand in marriage. She replied and said, "There is an upcoming ball that we will both be attending. If I am wearing roses on my dress, then my answer is yes." So, Paul Jones Jr., he shows up to this ball early, waits for this young woman to show up, and finally she does. And you can guess how many roses were on her dress. 4. Alright, so that is the history of Four Roses as a company. Now let's get this thing poured. Nice cork pop there. And let's see about the nosing and tasting notes. I will say I do like the shape of this bottle. I think it's a really nice looking bottle. Got something running down the front there. Looks very fancy, even though it is a budget friendly bottle. Let's get into this nose though. See what it's all about. Very light. Kind of youthful smelling, but there is, so you're getting that kind of hay, sour oak notes, maybe just hints of mint, and Four Roses is known for being a high rye mash bill. Decent black pepper there. There's also little hints of cinnamon and spice that you would expect from the rye. Not a whole lot of dark tones showing up though. You're not really getting much of a caramel or brown sugar. No, not really much of a vanilla either. A lot of lighter, kind of grassier, brighter notes that I'm not particularly that fond of. There's maybe a light citrus as well, like a lemon. All in all, decent nose, not my favorite. Let's go ahead and get into our first sip. So like the nose, the palate is very sour, lots of sour notes coming through. You're getting those kind of grassy notes, kind of wet hay, some sour oak in there for sure. There is definitely a lemon note in there, and it's kind of a sweet lemon, but not real sweet. In general, this is not a very sweet bourbon. It's much more sour tones. There is little hints of pepper there as well. All in all, just kind of an okay first sip. Let's go in for a second sip here and see what else we can get. Okay, so on that second sip, again, as usual, focused on the back of the palate and finish. And so it's sour up front, and it's just kind of sour all the way through. The back of the palate's just more sour. You do get a little bit of a cinnamon punch on kind of the back of the palate. And then as it goes into the finish, then it's kind of like sour pepper, which is not really my favorite finish by any means. Gotta say, this is not necessarily a bourbon that I'm going to be coming back to real often. I can't say that I'm really enjoying the experience. You know, to quote the great Andre 3000, I would say, I know you like to think that your doesn't stink, but if you lean a little bit closer, you'll find that roses really smell like poo hoo hoo. Yes. I would say that's about right, Andre 3000. Thank you for that. That's an accurate assessment of this bourbon, I would say. Not my favorite by any means. The nose is not very nice. The palate's not very nice. Unless you like sour notes, I don't know that I would recommend this. I can't say it's terrible, but as a rating goes, well, first, before I rate it, if you're enjoying this video, hit that like button. I hope you like this video more than I like this bourbon. Now, as for a rating, I'm just gonna go 6.2. Not at all my favorite, not really my thing at all. But, if you've enjoyed Four Roses, the small batch, let us know about your experience down in the comments for sure. Again, if you've liked this video, then please hit that like button. It just takes a second. And if you want to see more from me, folks, then you can click right here for more reviews. And if you want to really support the channel, you can subscribe right here. In any case, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this. And as always, just remember, you can never have too much good whiskey.